If you made $1 every second, it would take over 31 years to reach $1 billion. Spend $10,000 a day and you'd still need almost 3 centuries to run out. It's not just a big number, it's almost unimaginable. And yet, in Hollywood, it's become the unofficial benchmark for success. Crossing $1 billion at the box office used to be like spotting a unicorn, super rare. In the 90s, only Jurassic Park and Titanic pulled it off. Now, we see a few every year. Still, compared to the thousands of films released annually, it's a short list. And for big-budget blockbusters, it's not just a dream anymore, it's kind of expected. Thanks to growing international markets, rising ticket prices, and the rise of mega franchises, the billion-dollar club got a lot more crowded. Back in 1997, Titanic became the first film to officially cross that line. It wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural phenomenon. People saw it multiple times. It played in theaters for months. James Cameron didn't just make a movie, he made history. Then, more than a decade later, he did it again with Avatar, a film that didn't just break records, it obliterated them. At one point, Avatar was so far ahead of everything else, it made other billion-dollar films look like warm-ups. To put it in perspective, the 2 Avatar films alone have grossed more than the entire Star Trek, Indiana Jones, and Mad Max franchises combined. That's right, Captain Kirk, Indy, and Max couldn't keep up with probably the most forgettable franchise in history. For studios spending hundreds of millions on production and marketing, anything less than $1 billion can feel like falling short. It's a strange paradox. Hitting that number is still a huge deal, but almost required if you want your film to be seen as a real blockbuster. Just look at Justice League. It made nearly $700 million, was still labeled a failure, and the franchise got shelved. Over time, the game changed. Audiences grew, international demand exploded, especially in markets like China, and Hollywood leaned harder into franchise formulas. Budgets got bigger, marketing got louder, and more films started cracking that billion mark. It happens more often now, but don't let that fool you, it's still a tough club to get into. The usual headliners are all here: Marvel, Star Wars, Fast and Furious, Jurassic World, franchises built for global domination. But every so often, something unexpected breaks through. Joker, for instance. No flying cars, no lightsabers, just a dark psychological character study anchored by one haunting performance. The fact that a film like that reached those numbers? Almost unheard of. In fact, it was the first R-rated film ever to do it. And it underscores just how difficult that threshold is to cross, especially for films outside the superhero genre. Even Christopher Nolan, arguably one of the most visionary directors of his generation, has only done it twice, and both times within that genre with the Dark Knight films. Not even Inception, Interstellar, or Oppenheimer, all critically acclaimed and widely celebrated, managed to get there, which says a lot about the scale, branding, and built-in audience it usually takes. Of course, not every box office juggernaut is dark or brooding. There's Frozen, Barbie, and yes, even Minions. Turns out global audiences love a catchy song, a childhood favorite, or pure animated chaos. Whether it's intense drama or slapstick mayhem, the common thread is the same. These films became events. People didn't just watch, they showed up to be part of something. But chasing massive box office success comes at a cost, literally and creatively. Studios are pouring hundreds of millions into these tentpole films, and with that kind of money on the line, risks start disappearing. Everything gets tested, tweaked, and streamlined for maximum appeal. That's why so many blockbusters feel the same: safe, familiar, and algorithm approved. It's not about telling bold stories anymore, it's about minimizing backlash and maximizing turnout. Original ideas get shelved, mid-budget films vanish, and directors, they're often just steering a ship that was already mapped out by marketing teams. Sure, the numbers might explode, but it's harder to shake the feeling that we're watching products, not stories. Not always, but often enough to notice. And when everything's built to please everyone, the weird stuff, the personal stuff, the ones that actually stick are the first to go. And yet, when a film does break the billion-dollar mark, it says as much about the system as it does about the movie itself. Sometimes it means the story truly resonated. Other times, it just means the marketing landed, the title was familiar, or the timing was right. Numbers aren't just profit, they're proof. Proof that the formula still works. Proof that playing it safe still pays off. But whether that's good for cinema? That's another story.